We're on. I think we're on Saturday morning. Thank you for coming around and tuning in. We do appreciate that. Um, anyway, coffee in hand. Yes. Anyway, coffee in hand. It is officially November. Yes, we are in November, and the weather is definitely dropping in temperature. We hit a cold front, like just literally from one day to the next. It was like boom, there it is, cold front. Uh, Went from out here to the amazing weather for the desert. Literally went from 90 degrees one day to like literally 60 the next. But that's just the way it goes. So anyway, we got some really cool stuff this time, this Saturday around. Um, this is I love this kind of weather because this is the type of weather where you keep your windows open and everything, and then it kind of cools everything down. It kind of nice and even breeze going through, so it's awesome. But we got some really cool stuff. We got recoil springs. We got 1911s. We even got paper shotgun shells. Can you believe that? Did you know that Federal offers old school paper shotgun shells? We've talked about this in a radio show or two ago. Um, but that's really cool. I always kind of thought that was neat. Kind of brought back, some memories of if you guys remember when I talked about that. Actually, go back and watch the show. The show, I believe, just has the picture of the shells on it, where it tells the story of what my mother did to my grandpa with paper shotgun shells. Check that radio show out if you're interested. So anyway, here we go. We're gonna go ahead and read through your comments. This show around actually got something we're going to talk to you guys about and everybody here about recoil springs in 1911s, and I kind of wanted to share this with you, information that obviously I've read, but then also was told something by somebody that claims to be a gunsmith, which is a very interesting theory because I think that they're just stumbling on words and probably don't really know what they're talking about, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway because I think it's kind of stupid. So anyway, here we go. Warren Ness. Hi, Bat Jack. Thank you for a very informative video. I learned so much from watching this. I particularly enjoy the tips on what to look for when looking for an old war gun. Yeah, thank you. You're appreciate that. I anything I've ever learned over the years, I like to share with people, especially now that we do this format of type of show, podcast, whatever radio show you want to call it. I think it's easier to share information and kind of go roll through things easier with everybody, and I like that. All right, Jeffrey Richardson says, "Good morning, sip of coffee. Yes, the show was great. Love those grips." Thank you, appreciate that. Slim Fire, back in action, Slim. We're glad that you're here, and I have no idea what happened with his comments, but we were missing him out for a while there. Sometimes I don't know. I really don't know. Comments get pulled, comments get held. I don't know. Morning, JW. I hope you're having a great weekend. The leaves are starting to change back east, and it is beautiful out. Love the single action revolvers too. I have a Uberti 1873 and 45 Colt. That's a fun to go to the range. To go to the range with. Thanks, Slim. Yes, anybody hasn't tried a single action to go to the range, like one of those Ubertis or any of those Pieta, it's a ton of fun. I love the Ubertis and Pietas, or whatever you want to call them, the Italian imports. I got no problems with those. I love them. I just can't I can't afford a $2,000-3,000 honest to true Colt. It's just not in my budget. I'm just too much of a paycheck to paycheck kind of person, 9 to 5, working class, right? To all of us working class, low to middle class people, the fight goes on. You're not without a purpose, and you're not without a fight. All right. James, this one's from James. Good morning, JW. Great show today, and really some really nice pistols. I appreciate the tips and pointers. Cheers. You're welcome, James. Anything we can share to help one another here in the show, especially if we're spending our hard-earned money on something, want to make sure what we're getting, what we're buying, and we're not getting ripped off. We work too hard for our money. It doesn't come easy. When we spend hundreds, it hurts. We're not like those gifted people that can just piss away $100 bills like they're nothing. All right, sun rises. Been a fan of your channel for a long time now, and now I'm back because somehow my sub to your YouTube got undone. I'm glad you're back. That does happen. It has been heard a lot that people get unsubbed sometimes. Don't know what happens, how it goes, but glad you're back around. Crazy Scotsman. Nothing else like the lines and curves of a 29. Stamping and scroll marks are huge, especially if you're trying to determine if original or redone. Yes. In fact, it was funny. I was just looking on Guns International, and they have a listing. There's somebody on their listing. Can't remember what their name is, but they have a bunch of like pythons that are re whatever re what do they call that? Now I'm drawing a brain fart here. Um, what they redone them. They finished them or whatever you want to call it. Restoration. Um, and it's funny is because I'm looking at it and they still want like $3,700 for this or something like that. It's like, yeah, well, good luck. I mean, I have no ever interest in paying anything remotely like that for one of those. Well, not when you can buy one that's brand new, made well from Colt themselves for $1,400. Um, but it's funny. I was looking at it. It's like restored and all that. Um, and they have the grips on it, and the grips that they got on them are from Deer Hollow grips. I could clearly tell they were Deer Hollow grips from the Olaf over there in Sparta, Tennessee, that makes those. If you check out his website, anybody looking for true, really good Python reproduction grips, that's the way to go, without a shadow of a doubt. In fact, I'd much rather have his than originals any day. And they're cheaper anyway. His grips are more cost effective and well done, better made than the originals anyhow. But yeah, I could tell that they had gone through him and bought his grips for their restored pythons that they're trying to get some astronomical prices for. I don't know. Sorry, but yeah, back to that. Collector value, it's not there. Not when they've been restored. So, all right, Lead 8541. That's my buddy Lead over there. Which, if you have not checked out some of his videos, check out his videos. He does some really good barbecue and pit boss stuff. He's also been doing a knife Saturday video, if I recall. I caught a few of those, Lead, and really good stuff. Really old school throwback to Lead's videos. But then again, Lead's videos are always fantastic. He's another one of those great channels. You never know what you're going to get. He has one of my favorite videos of all time, and it's the one on candied bacon. Man, I tell you, do not watch that video when you're hungry. But no, everybody should definitely go check it out and try it. I tried it a little bit. I tried to do what he did. I don't have a pit boss like he does, but I tried it in the oven. It's pretty darn good. He definitely hit a note with that cayenne pepper. Lead says, for a regular Joe, you've done your homework on firearms. Great video. Have a great rest of your weekend, Lead. Well, I appreciate that, Lead. I don't know a whole lot, but I know a couple things, and really it's just sitting around reading books and just trying to educate myself so I don't get ripped off, really, for the sake of my wallet. But I appreciate that. Thank you, Led. Joe P. Good morning, JW. I don't need 4 clicks on a single action either. Yeah, neither. I mean, I've had seen people just freak out over that. I'm like, really? I don't care. Like, wow, 4 clicks, 3 clicks, 1 click. I don't know. I don't care. I do need the firing pin on the hammer, though. Yes, that is important when it comes to a single action. I agree with you there. That is why I favor those Italian copies. Cost effective, great, look fantastic, looks just like a Colt, and I'm good with that. I have a Ruger Blackhawk with a transfer bar. It's a great range gun, but for me, it's no substitute for a more traditional single action. They are no substitute, that's for sure. They are in their own thing themselves. Rugers are built like tanks. I always thought, you know what, I should get a Red Hawk or something like that just for testing 44 Magnum ammo. I thought about doing that, really, honestly, because it'd be a gun that can handle it without a shadow of a doubt. Sunrise again, he says, yeah, grocery prices are higher than the past. They are definitely higher. Wild Man says, sir, this is a Wendy's. It's obviously a quote from something. I don't know what it's quote from. Maybe I'm just too behind or too ahead. I don't know, or just too. I'm not sure what the quote is. But I'll tell you this much: I like Wendy's chicken nuggets. I like their chicken nuggets above all the other fast food chains. I'm a fast food connoisseur, if you can't tell. But nobody outdoes McDonald's fries. I tell you that much. And nobody outdoes McDonald's French fries. But Wendy's does have a thing about the chicken nuggets. Dang it! Now, man, I want chicken nuggets from Wendy's now. You see what you've done. But my mom says they have better French fries. That's because she's a traitor. Uh, but anyway, I did ask her one time. I said, you know, what the heck, man? I said, you know, I really love burgers and fries like nobody's business, I tell you. And she goes, you know, when I was pregnant with you, that's all I ever craved. Thanks, Mom. That's awesome. All right, D Life, and I know who you are, man. That's my friend Oscar over there. Hey, Bat Jack, hope all is well, man. How are you doing this morning? You going to catch the USC 308 this morning? No, I got to. I'm actually at work. Yeah, I'm at work. No, I'm actually at work during the taping, during the airing of this show. So, but no, I've never followed. I mean, I've caught some random matches or whatever from USC here and there, but never been like a huge follower of it or anything like that. The days of watching anything like that, I used to watch WWF, obviously back in the '90s. You know, I was very glad to say that I was there during the Attitude Era, from '97 to '99. I think WWF was at its best. Although, you know, I also, you know, love watching the Roddy Piper bits and all that, and Hulk Hogan. And, you know, I remember the 1992 Royal Rumble where Ric Flair literally entered at like number 2 or something and actually won the thing. Back in the good old days of wrestling. But, yeah, no, haven't seen any USC stuff for a while. I always remembered when Tank Abbott was in there. He was just like a full blown like bar brawler. I always liked that guy. He was always my favorite. Of course, that was some time ago. All right. So anyway, that's the comments. We're gonna get on with the thing about the show today because I got something to talk to you guys about because I think it's funny and interesting. I want to throw this out, and this is about 1911s. All right. We're talking about the recoil spring in 1911s. Now, this one here is my Colt government model. This is one of their new ones. I changed it out, the recoil spring in mine. What I have in mind, this one here from Stock Factory, is a Wilson Combat flat wire spring. I was running the flat wire spring Wilson Combat deal in mine. Okay, here is the question. This is the question it is. On your recoil spring, you have 2 ends. You have a closed end and you have an open end. And so they always say the rule of thumb is the closed end goes on the recoil guide rod. So that's always the name of the game. I have noticed, though, over the years of messing around with these things, just for what little experience I've got, there is always a difference. One end, a closed end, when he goes on the guide rod, it fits tighter than the open end. Okay, so that's kind of what I always thought was, you know, I didn't even read any books on that really. I always just thought that's the way it goes. Okay, so so the question is why? Why is it like that? Why would it matter? So I asked this person that claims to be a gunsmith. We're not trying to go out of our way to trash anybody's thing or opinion or whatever, but it was the answer I got, which has made me kind of go, what? The answer was, I said, why is that? Why is it that there's 2 ends? Well, yeah, there's an open end and closed end. Right. Yeah, obviously. I can see that. But then, well, why? Why does it cause jamming? That's what the thing was. It causes jamming. What? Really? So if you reverse the spring, it causes jamming. Why does it cause jamming? Um, he said, well, it's the friction. You don't want that friction. But that's the way it goes, though, right? It goes the closed end on, so it holds tighter on the recoil spring. So that causes the friction, which causes jamming. So then what you're saying is I should have it the open end that way and the closed end or whatever. So anyway, yeah, I was really confused by that. What it boiled down to was I really don't think that person knew what they were talking about, and they're just too into being right all the time, and instead of actually like providing anybody with any kind of factual stuff. And that's what I'm kind of getting at. Be careful what kind of advice you take from people and whatnot. You get people that are so self-absorbed that they're, even if they're wrong, they're going to feed you whatever because they stumbled and they don't care, and it's all about them being right, and it's all about that. So here's a couple things I'm going to show you. So this is the flat wire spring from Wilson Combat. I've been running this lately. That's what I run into my blaster here. They come with their own guide rod for it because the end of the spring is tighter on it. So you can't put it on your standard one. You have to have the guide rod. Oh wait, which way does it go? Oh wait, no, does it go this way? Guess what? On this one, it doesn't matter. It's actually the same no matter what. So it doesn't matter which way I put this one on. So so there went that theory on that. Maybe I thought because it doesn't fit snug on there, maybe somehow under recoil or something that would actually disconnect and come off. I don't know, but I've fired this thing so much that that's never happened, and I'm sure nobody's ever. I mean, I've never heard anybody actually report something like that. So, all right, it gets more interesting. Here's a military recoil spring from World War II. Guess what? Both ends are open. Because during the war, they were not just made. I almost guarantee you what they did was they had a big roll of spring and they had a length that they were cutting them to, and they just were going chop, 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 and there they are. So World War II recoil spring for a 1911 has two open ends. Okay, so where does that come into play? You see things like the standard recoil springs from Wilson Combat here. This one's actually like sealed in package. We'll open it up here on the show. This is part number 10G18. It's an 18 and a half pound recoil spring. It is designed, recommended use for a 5-inch model for a 10 millimeter shooting, target ammunition, 45 ACP for the 230 grain hardball equivalent. So that's what I've always done. Just go with the go balls out right there. Standard pressure, blah blah blah. Average service life 2,000 rounds. Wilson Combat heavy duty recoil springs are made out of tough. All this stuff. Keep fresh recoil springs, okay. And this is all just the warning stuff of keep the basic stuff. Never be doing this when the gun's loaded, obviously. Okay, both ends are closed on this one. Both ends are closed, so I don't know if it would matter or anything like that. So there's that. We have that. So again, so when I asked about why would it cause it to jam, which I've never experienced it jamming because of the direction of the recoil spring. Although I'm not denying that in books and literature I have read that yes, you put the closed end onto the guide rod. I have read that. Not denying that that is a true thing. But what I'm wondering is why did he believe that due to the friction on it is what causes your 1911 to jam, when that goes against what the old saying is, where yes, you put the closed end on the guide rod because it holds better. But then again, you've got things like this, the flat wire spring that I've been running for years now, and that's actually done me really well. And that obviously doesn't matter because it doesn't hold on to anything there. World War II models had both ends open. So again, it kind of goes to that where, chime in what you think on that. Again, I'm not saying that that it's a lie about which direction it goes, I'm just saying that that's kind of strange to be asking somebody that claims to know everything, that claims to be like the I've been around for 80 something years and I know everything kind of thing. And it's like, you're wrong. I don't know what you're talking about. That makes no sense. So again, aside from the discussion itself, and you kind of tune in what you think about all this, um, definitely, But the thing is, be careful on who you're taking advice from, who you're listening to. Be very open minded because people are often wrong. And the dangerous part about it is when you're dealing with somebody that cannot admit when they are wrong. That is a dangerous thing because you're dealing with ego, you're dealing with that kind of stuff, and it could actually end up uh, sending out wrong information. People get misadvised and all that kind of stuff, or whatever you want, however you want to phrase it. I'm not a master of anything. I'm not a super knowledgeable person on like any of this by any means. Just a hobbyist, really, and just somebody that kind of learn a couple things out of necessity to keep my favorite pistol running. That's all it is for me, and to save myself from getting ripped off and burned in money, as far as some stuff like that. So anyway, that's all I was just throwing out there with this whole discussion on recoil springs and all that, because I thought it was kind of odd to just kind of throw that kind of information out there just for the sake of just trying to just get out of the conversation. I don't know if because they thought that they were getting uh, caught in a corner that was like, hey, why? And you couldn't explain it. So you just kind of gave some bogus answer or something like that. Not sure. But like I said, people, regardless of who it is, be careful what kind of advice you're taking out there or what people are saying to you. Don't just run out there and start doing, saying things, or getting things. So anyway, I'll see you next Saturday.